Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you are. My name is John, or Last Frontier Bricks, and this is my review of the LEGO Marvel Green Goblin construction figure. It is set number 76284, comes with 471 pieces, and retails for $35. I gotta admit, this is probably one of the most surprising of these construction figures LEGO Marvel has put out. I gotta admit, after the No Way Home final battle, I wasn't expecting us to get any more sets based off of No Way Home. But between the look of the Goblin, the fact that it is the classic movie Green Goblin, the same one that we get in No Way Home, and the original Tobey Maguire movie, complete with the mask, plus, like I said, the build, the look, plus the glider, this might be one of my favorites. Admittedly, the only two I had until now were the Iron Man and the original Spider-Man set, not the Iron Spider that came out with this one, but the original $20 one, or was that 25? I honestly don't remember. Anyway, but yeah, this might be my new favorite because this thing looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. It looks fantastic. So the front box art obviously shows off the Goblin in and his glider in all their glory. Just love the look of the mask there. At least the main face. He's got a couple of green pumpkin bombs in his hands, and again the glider looks great. Plus on the top right corner you have the Spider-Man No Way Home logo, plus all three Spider-Man, Tom, Toby, and Andrew. On the top you've got a 1-to-1 scale image of the Goblin face. His left side has the LEGO Marvel logo with the classic comic book style look, and not much going on the right. And on the right side, you get another classic shot of the Goblin on his glider. Plus a couple of play features like attaching the Goblin to his gliders, and you can also attach the pumpkin bombs to the back of the glider for storage. So let's go ahead and get this thing open. This thing has two of the thumb tabs, so it will kind of be destroying the box. So let's see what we've got here. We got 1, 2, 3 bags of parts and 1 instruction manual. Doesn't look like there are any stickers, thank goodness. So that Goblin mask is probably the only thing with printing, but fortunately it is printed. So taking a look, you've got the usual news about paper bags, which again, no paper bags in this. Don't know why they keep doing that. And in sets that don't even have paper bags. And then you got the LEGO Builder app, and then it goes straight into the build. Take a look at the back. There's your list of parts. Any ads for other sets? Nope, just the completed image. All right, so that is the unboxing. I'll go ahead and jump into time lapse for this build, starting right now. Alright, the build is done. That took about an hour or so, give or take. And honestly, after having done it, I can understand why a lot of people tend to have their cameras in a third-person position when they do a time lapse. Honestly, where I've got a new camera set up, I kind of have to wrap my hands around the setup in order to be able to get the parts. And I gotta admit, that gets to like my back and shoulders quite a bit. Anyway, this thing actually looks pretty darn good as it is, but we will take a look at both the Goblin himself and the glider separately before I go into the full breakdown of the two together, starting with the Goblin. So here is the Goblin himself. If you guys are wondering, his total height is about 10 inches tall, which makes for a pretty decently sized Goblin figure. One thing I will admit that he was a bit of a difficult build, but not for the reason you think it is. The build process is actually pretty simple. The difficult part was just finding all the pieces you need for the steps. When the I'd say a good 70, maybe even 80% of the pieces are all the same shade of green. It's kind of hard to pick out the individual pieces that you need. So you will have to take that into consideration. You'll probably want to spread your parts out quite a bit when you go to build him. That way you can make out all the individual pieces. But starting off, taking a look at him from head to toe. Oh, starting off with the Goblin mask, that actually looks really good. I do like the printing on the Goblin mask, and let's go with all the individual lines on the mask, plus two shades in the eyes. Is some of it is that there we go. There we go. That looks good. Okay, so two shades of eyes. Some of it is like a nougat, and then in between, mixed in with the nougat is a metallic gold paint. You also get that same in combination with the teeth. So that looks really good. The shaping of the mask is really good. The one thing I don't really like is that the green on the ears is very noticeably a different color. That is a little disappointing. It would have been nice if you could get the whole top part the same shade of green. So yeah, and the fact that this is clearly a lighter green is a uh, is a bit of a disappointment. And it was you can see that they move around by a small ball joint. That's also how you get the chin piece. Is on a 1x2 plate with a ball joint connection. That's how you get the extra large chin piece. That looks really good. The head and slash mask itself looks really good. As you can see, they also keep with the tradition of the Bionicle style shoulder pads. And so the arms have some pretty good range of motion there on the shoulders are on a ball joint, and then the elbows those are on the 1x2 plates that clip together, which only have like a left and right degree of motion, but you can get the arm in some pretty good angles. Although I will say that these ball joints do become a little bit of a disappointment once you get to the knees. I'll get to that once you get there. But you see, he's got four adjustable fingers. Plus, he's got a 1x2 tile with one stud in the middle. That is so you can take his pumpkin bombs, which are pretty simple. It's only three pieces. It's like you got the gold circular piece. It's a transparent green light green one tile and a green Technic pin. And yeah, that's in spaces just so you can attach a pumpkin onto his hand. His fingers basically use the same piece as the ear, just a bit smaller. And they only move so much, but they do get a good. But they do look pretty. But they do look pretty good, and it does make for a pretty good facsimile of him holding the pumpkin bomb. The torso is very detailed, very armored. Or despite not using any stickers, again, no stickers. The only printed piece is that mask. Yes, but yeah, the whole torso it looks very rugged, very armored, much like you see in the movies. Also, quite a bit of armor on the arms. One thing I will say that is that you will run into a lot of these 1/4 circle tile pieces. If I remember right, the instructions say that there's about there's about 40 of these guys in there, and I absolutely believe it, considering how many are on this guy. Taking a look at the back of the torso, not much going on. There is a little bit of armor in there, and a little bit of mix of color, within the regular green, the dark green, and the black. Looks really good. The joints on the knees are the clip joints, and they've got a pretty good range of motion as well. And like I said, the knees do become a little bit of a disappointment, as they don't exactly go as wide in it as you would like, because you can kind of like you can't really do like the goblins being posed, the goblin's main pose, especially when he's on the glider, or where he's super stretched out, out wide, and it looks like he's ready to jump. I'll make sure to put a picture of the pose I'm talking about in the video. Oh, well, so you guys can understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, the joints kind of on the knees kind of limit the ability to pose him in that stance. But yeah, also again, whole lot more of these 1/4 circular tile pieces. They definitely wouldn't have been able to put into detail of this figure that they would have wanted to if they didn't have this piece. So yeah, kind of good that they have that. And also you notice that he's got some some knee armor that might also kind of hinder the amount of posability he has, as it does kind of tend to get in the way. But but it looks pretty good. And then you got some more good armor on the lower legs, and the feet aren't too crazy, but they work pretty well. Not a whole lot of uh, movement available in the ankle, especially front and back. But it provides enough, and you notice that at the bottom of the feet are 1x4 Technic bricks with the 3 holes, and those are what will allow him to attach to the glider. So all in all, this is a pretty good, pretty well done buildable Green Goblin figure from the Spider-Man movies. And here is the Goblin Glider. Just for the record, this thing's wingspan is about 8 inches, so pretty decent size for the Goblin himself. I do like the use of the large Technic pieces here for the wings. That makes for a great shape. You can see the pumpkin bombs attached to the back of the glider for ease of access. I honestly I just checked over the final battle of No Way Home, and I legitimately don't remember these side engines here on the side of the wings. But all 4 do look good. I only really remember seeing these 2. Ooh, but still, it does look pretty good. I like the fact that they got the transparent green look in the front that you see in the movie. These 2 blue Technic pins are where the Goblin's feet attach to, so that's where he attaches to the glider. I think my favorite detail actually is these use of these large sword pieces. I think they're used for goblins or trolls in the medieval sets or Lord of the Rings. But I love that they use these guys for the blades on the front. These things look fantastic. They look sick, and they make for great use for the blades. It's the I do also do like the shape of the engines on the sides of the wings. Not a whole lot going on underneath, but you can see how it's built underneath. Also, the sections of the wings aren't really super attached, but I actually find that comes in handy when you're trying to pose the goblin in certain poses, because you can adjust because because the glider wings move with the feet, so these things aren't super restraining when it comes to trying to get the Goblin in a certain pose. So for the glider itself, this thing actually looks pretty darn good. Let's get these two attached there now. So it turns out I was wrong. You actually can kind of get the Goblin in that ready to jump look that I was looking for. It looks a bit awkward, especially like with the ankles. It almost looks like the either breaking or getting ready to break. But he actually looks pretty good up on there. You can't really see the torso, but that's kind of the look that I was going for. Also, one thing I noticed, like I mentioned with the ears being a different color. One thing I noticed is that, like I said, these pieces they use for the fingers, they're basically the same piece, just smaller, but they're in the right color. So now we're really confused with me about the coloring of the ears. Anyway, once you get the Goblin on the glider, get him on a good pose, it does look really cool. Also, I have been messing around with this guy, just holding him by the torso and just flying him around. And I gotta say, the switchability on this thing is actually pretty good. I actually wasn't expecting that, but it actually works pretty well. Also, one thing I thought the possibility for with this guy is maybe, just maybe, you could take those two Technic pins. This guy's kind of wanting to fall on me. I was thinking maybe you could take those Technic pins that you use to attach his feet to the glider and then move them over to the other spots on the glider. And maybe you could, again, to pose in different stances, like maybe that promotional shot of the Goblin for the original Spider-Man movie, where where like you're looking at the bottom of the glider and he's just kind of like holding on with his left hand, and he's splayed out over on the right. I'll get an image of that. I'll make sure to get an image of that for the video, show you what I'm talking about. Anyway, when it comes to playability, playability, the thing actually works pretty well. One thing I forgot to mention about the glider is that I kind of wish that it had some flick-fire missiles underneath the wings, so you could kind of like, when at the final battle in the original Spider-Man movie at the Queensboro Bridge, like he uses a missile to take out the tram attached to the bridge. And just so, yeah, I kind of wish that they had been able to incorporate a couple of flick-fire missiles. So that's one of the main downsides I have about this set. Also, again, the miscolored ears, and it could use a bit more posability. But other than that, if you're looking for a Green Goblin display piece, this thing works pretty well. Speaking of display pieces, I actually thought of what I think would be a pretty cool set. Hear me out on this. Marvel's, like Star Wars, have been doing quite a few masks. Like they've done Iron Man, they've done Spider-Man, Wolverine came out not all that long ago. Hear me out. I'd love to have this Green Goblin mask as a displayable set. Lego, if you're listening, get on that. I think that would sell pretty well. Anyway, like I said, if you're looking for a classic movie Green Goblin, this is a pretty solid set, and for $30, I don't feel like I overpaid it. But between actually 35, but between the Goblin and the glider, I think you actually get a pretty good value for your money. Also, since I usually do it anyway, here are the extra pieces. Not a whole lot going on. Like you got like one of these pieces, which you use to attach the ears. There's a little bit of transparent and green left over from the glider. So yeah, nothing too crazy, but you do get a few. So that is the end of the review for this set. Thank you for joining me for it. If you guys enjoyed it, you know what to do. You can check out some more of my content on the end screen in just a few seconds. Hit like, subscribe, all that stuff. And I'll see you all in the next video. Later, everybody.